The Lord be with you, and a warm welcome to you from all of us here in Powers Court with Kilbride. Well, what a beautiful morning it is. It's about 8:10 on Friday morning as I'm beginning to record a series of videos for the online, and across from me here, if you can just about see it over the fence, is the beautiful steeple of St. Patrick's Church, and in around about 45 minutes or so I will be welcoming the children of the school in for assembly. We try to do assembly in the church on the last Friday of each month, and the parents are invited to come too. So it's a nice opportunity for the children to just really feel familiar inside our church. I know a lot of churches do this, and to kind of feel a little bit of ownership as well about that beautiful church and its surroundings. So you're welcome to join me today as we celebrate a type of love for Mothering Sunday. But first, and as I head across to the church, I'll see you in a short while, and in the meantime, we pause for a time of private prayer. what is she doing in a hat? Well, I have to tell you that surprisingly, even though you don't know this, there are huge gusts of wind on occasion, and what you don't see when I record these programs is that there are many takes, because I could be in the middle of saying something and all of a sudden I get a big mouthful of hair, so it's not a good look. And today I decided I'd put on this hat to keep myself shielded from the sun and indeed the wind. The last time I met you, a little earlier on today, I was heading over to the church for a special assembly, and a lot of things to tell you about that. It was wonderful. For starters, we've decided that every last Friday of the month, a certain classroom, which comprises 2 classes in each room, will take the assembly. And it was an amazing assembly this morning, and it was all about our gifts and talents. It was the parable of the talents. And we ended up thanking God for our individuality, for our individual gifts, and repeating the phrase, "I am perfect just as I am," which is a really important message for us to be giving out to our children who are going out into this world. In our 2 churches on Sunday here, we have a special service of the Word, which I hope is a type of a hybrid service that incorporates something for everybody who might be present. And I have used the scripture of Mary at the foot of the cross of Jesus, and that one of the final things that Jesus says is, "Mother, behold your son, son, behold your mother." Even at that stage in his demise, he is opening up the doors of recognition that we are one family, that it is absolutely possible for 2 people to be as joined together in a sort of a heart and soul type of a way, as blood relatives. He says that it's far more than the flesh and blood aspect. It's that nurturing love that we operate within the life of another person. So may this little service go out today in memory of all those who have gone, parents or otherwise, the males and the females in our lives who have so greatly influenced us, who have so greatly accompanied us on the very edges of our own personal paths, and to all those who at this very moment are providing that type of very special depth of care. The type of love we celebrate when we think of Mothering Sunday is a mothering love. It's a nurturing type of love. It's the type of love that stands on the sidelines of an individual's life and gently accompanies that person that we care for. The trick is for all of us, and you know something, you don't have to be a mother to operate that nurturing love. You can be any gender. You can either be a friend or a relative or a child or a parent. It's all encompassing. This type of love is the type of love that allows a person to make their own personal journey and to recognize with respect that that is their journey, not yours, but to still be there to accompany them gently from the sidelines. Or if, and it's very difficult when you care about somebody, you allow them to go and learn for themselves, you are the one in that nurturing love that is waiting with open arms when they return. I remember hearing a phrase as a much younger woman, "If you love something, set it free." If it comes back to you, it's yours, and if it doesn't, it never was. The type of nurturing love we celebrate today is a love that is deep and strong enough to release the loved one onto the path of their own journey, to be able to stand in the sidelines quietly at times, and that takes a lot of strength, and to allow them to discover their own path in life, their own gifts and talents, to be a very positive force in their life, not a negative one, to be a strength when they feel weak, to see the fall before it happens and be the hands that reach out to catch them, but not to interfere in the discovery of their own lives. And as a parent, I have to say that's quite difficult at times. On a very personal note, Ed and I received a text in our own little group chat with our daughter Claire, who became a mum last August to a beautiful little boy, Taru. And Taru is 7 months old now. And I have watched her, and the only word that I can describe for her, even in the thick of sleeplessness, even in the thick of the worry about a little rash or teething and all the things that start to occur in a young soul's life. Even through all of this, the word I would use for her is grace. I have seen my own child operate such grace, and it is my prayer that she continues in that grace of parenthood as that little child grows. And Ed and I received an amazing text from her out of the blue, unexpected, a couple of weeks ago. And it brought tears to my eyes, because it's the type of text that every person wants to receive, every parent wants to receive. And it simply said, "Thank you for all that you have done for me in my life. Thank you for being my parents and for caring for me. I now am beginning to realise what that love really means." I had a look at the actual scripture reading for today in the lectionary readings within the Church of Ireland, and I found it to be the prodigal son, that parable that Jesus tells. And it's one that we can discuss at another time in this square. But the one beautiful and fascinating thing that has always hit me in this parable is that the wealthy landowner has the grace to give everything to the son who asks for it, to sit gently and wait while the son goes off on his own path and learns and develops and expands himself, has the absolute grace to pick up his skirts, which was not a done thing if you were one of the leaders in your society in those days, and run to embrace the son when the son comes home, to open arms and say, "I am here for you. No matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, I am here for you." Now that, my friends, in every shape or form that we acknowledge it within the people we have around us today and had in the past, that, my friends, is the true divine love of God. To all the hands that raised me when I fell, the listening ears that uttered not a word, but gave the space in which my heart could tell its story, knowing that it had been heard. To those who stood unnoticed in the wings and clapped the loudest at each curtain call, or silently removed the little things that may have tripped me up and made me fall. To wisdom left unspoken, that I found my own life's gems to etch upon my heart. To those through whom I glimpsed a higher ground when life began to pull my dreams apart. Love never found a better way than these, nor rooted itself deeper in the soul than through the people who with quiet ease provide the gifts that somehow make us whole. To them be blessing, and may God endow them with the light they've always shown. A little glimpse of heaven in the now that gathers up and gently brings us home.